Darren, as it stands, 1:30 Thursday afternoon, the big uncertainty ahead of this one is still Johnson Clark Harris.
Yeah, we're still awaiting. It's very unfortunate, the timing of it. We thought that the decision would be yesterday. We should have made today a little bit easier, but we've prepared like normal with them, without them. I mean, a positive there was a similar case with Jared Bowen, who got no game ban, just got a fine and an awareness course. So I would never condone either of the things that was said, but if you're going off that, then we have to remain positive.
Yeah, and as you mentioned the other day, you've had Johnson in your side for so long, you can kind of put all of that to one side. You've been focusing more on what you might do if he's not around.
Yeah, but both really, because after that we heard about that case, we're a bit more optimistic, but you never know what's going to happen. We don't know. We're awaiting as everyone else is. So yeah, we had to work on plan B, if you want to call it that. But we've got players that can play in that position, or we could change formation. So we've got plans in place if it is the worst news in terms of John getting a ban.
Yeah, if you're listening to some noise in the background, that's the work that's currently going on at the training ground. Just more generally in this whole scenario, do you feel there are some lessons to be learned with the process? Because it is harsh for you guys, isn't it, that you've been left hanging for so long?
Yeah, I mean, Wednesday before a Friday, we're thinking, okay, well, at least it gives you a day to prep, knowing what the verdict is. Then it gets put back a day. So it didn't help. We've got to be honest, it didn't help. But we have to get on with it.
Yeah, and just to look at the further team news, it's been tough on a number of fronts over recent weeks. Without giving too many details away, has it been a bit smoother this week with everything?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a good week. We've had a good week throughout the club. So obviously last Saturday we had a very good win and a good performance. The 18s won, very, very good result. The 16s won, then Tuesday the 23s won. So we've had a really positive week, some really good performances right through the whole age groups, which I'm delighted with. So it's been a positive week. We want to continue that.
Have you got a more exact time scale on Jack Marriott now? Do you know what that's going to be?
We're looking between 4 and 5 months. It's a long time. He's going to have surgery, which he'll get on Saturday. It's probably as bad an injury as you could have to a hamstring. So yeah, it's in a considerable time.
Yeah, so the frame of mind for that one really becomes, it's a bit of a bonus if you can play a part this season. You can put him to one side, and if he does get back, then great.
Yeah, I guess so. We have to manage the boy now because he's disappointed. It's a huge blow for him and a huge blow for us. And Jack's obviously not played much football in a period before he arrived here anyway, but we'll look after him. We make sure we try and keep him right. I'll have to try and keep him busy. I think he'll start becoming one of my scouts now, so I have to keep him busy mentally. There's no doubt about that. But it's a big blow to be out for so long and in such a sort of strange incident where it didn't look. I've seen injuries like that before, and normally the players are in agony. But the one thing is, I suppose, when it's a tendon injury, sometimes there isn't that pain. So anyway, listen, it's a real blow for Jack. We all feel for him.
Yeah, and you're dead right as well. We hear so much about the importance of mental well-being, not only in football but society as a whole. This is an opportunity, I guess, for Posh as a club really to show what you can do, and it is important to get that right with Jack.
Yeah, but I think all the way through the club, starting with the chairman and all the way through, we're very good with things like that. And I've spoken to Jack a couple of times, and he knows that everyone's behind him, and we'll give him all the support, him and his family, we can. It's part of football, but unfortunately the last couple of seasons has been tough for Jack. So it's a blow for all of us because he was just getting up to speed. But it can happen. You have to stay strong. We have to now look at what we can do to get him back. You're right. It might be a case of waiting until pre-season, and he'll be really strong next season. We'll wait and see how quickly he returns. But he's only 26, so he's got plenty of time. Yeah,
and I guess it goes without saying you'll have at least cast an eye on what you can do with goalkeepers. What's your thinking there? Are you just going to leave it for the time being? Are there options out there if you need them? How do you see it?
Well, funnily enough, it's amazing when something comes out like that, the amount of people that have been on the phone saying I've got this one and that one. And at the moment, we're staying calm, and I thought Di did very well against Birmingham, and we knew he was a good goalkeeper when we brought him in, and he's been knocking at the door anyway, to be honest. So regardless of what happened off the pitch, he would have played against Birmingham anyway, just through the fact I thought I should bring him in. So he deserves his chance.
Yeah, and with Will at this moment in time, you're happy that if anything happens to die and he suddenly has to come on, whatever it might be, that it'll be okay?
Yeah, we've got a lot of confidence in our young players. You know, we produce a lot. We believe in developing players, and I believe as a manager to give them a chance. The question would be whether he'd be able to come in and play over a longer term. So that's why we're keeping our eyes open and ears and about who's out there and who we can get in.
With Coventry then, you look at their home form not only this season but over last season as well. Okay, they were at a different stadium, but typically a team who are really good on their home turf. So I suppose in terms of putting your away form to the test, why not? Coventry a great place to really examine it and look at it.
Yeah, it's a tough game. A team that are very good at home against a team at the moment are struggling away, but you know, all these things can change very quickly. A team that have been together a while, manager has been there for a while, similar to ourselves. They all know the patterns that how they play with the ball, without the ball. They've got a system that does suit them, and some very good players and a good team. So it'll be a tough game, but every game you get, and particularly away from home, is going to be tough in this league. But we've got to go there, and if we can perform anywhere near what we did against Birmingham, then I'm sure we'll give them a good game.
Yeah, that's the crucial thing, isn't it? Maintain that momentum. And okay, there are some differences to being away from home, but as we've said loads of times in the past, it doesn't need to be that stark.
No, I agree, and I think we've got to go there with the belief that we should have taken out of the game. And to be honest, our last away game, I know the result wasn't what we wanted, but up to an hour we were the better team. You know, you've seen then Reading's gone to Fulham in one, so they're no mugs. So there was some positives to take out of that last away game. So we've got to go there. We've got to perform. We've got to make sure that we do certain things very, very well in every game. But lovely stadium, good pitch, night game, good atmosphere. We're taking over 1,000 fans, so I think we've got to look forward to it.
Yeah, and obviously terrible for the looking at the bigger championship picture. Terrible for fans at clubs like Derby when you get that kind of scenario. But for the rest of the league, I guess the big impact on teams like Posh is suddenly there's more uncertainty. We know that the Championship is such a close league. It suddenly makes the whole picture just that little more uncertain. Yeah,
you have to feel for a club like Derby. I mean, whatever's going on there, to go into administration for any football club, the club's going to suffer. I don't think it's going to be a short-term one, and you have to feel for Wayne, his staff, the players, and not just the playing staff, all the staff and members of the football club. So hopefully, you know, I know you say, oh well, it means we're out the bottom three, but it's a bit blindsided to look at it that way. I think the whole of football looks at it and think it's a sad situation they've got themselves in. You hope that they get out of it, but you know, we've just got to concentrate on ourselves, and it shows how well this football club is run, I have to say.
Was it something, I guess with Derby, there was perhaps the anticipation that something like that could happen at the start of the season? When you sat down to map things out, was it something you had in the back of your mind that one or two clubs could maybe end up in this position?
No, never. It'd be a foolish way of thinking. I think everyone was aware in football about the ramifications they may have because of the financial situation. No one was going to be aware they'd gone into administration. That's where the 12 points have come from. So no, that was never in any conversations. We got to do our business, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah, and I guess it makes you look at your own career as well, to be grateful that I think pretty much without exception you've always been working at clubs that have been pretty stable off the field.
Yeah, I had one occasion when we were in administration at Wrexham actually, when I was a player, and it was tough. You know, it is tough. You don't know whether you're going to get paid, and it was a while ago, but I remember it was tough times, and it's not going to be easy for them. So you just hope they get out of it in as good a situation as possible, and they don't become a Bury. I mean, that would have been a disaster, you know.